Good morning, all you lovely people. Welcome back to the Grumpy Old Git on a damp, windy, overcast day here in the Midlands. So nothing's changed in the weather really. But let's get straight into this today. Now, I saw something yesterday that I felt I had to say something about. This was about the French being allowed to take part in the changing of the guard in London. Apparently this was to celebrate 120 years of the Entente Cordiale. This was signed back obviously in 1904. And it was supposed to improve relations between France and England, basically, including trade. Now, for those of a certain age that were taught proper history, and this is all researchable as well, it was also used to carve up the British and the French empires around the world, the colonial borders, areas, who control what, or shall I put it, who will have influence over what. But this to me is just another way of slapping us across the face after everything that they've been doing. I mean, the French have screwed with our exports for years, and imports. You know, you've only had to look at the state of the seaports years ago, burning our bloody meat on the quays, letting vegetables rot in the lorries while they held them up, or containers. They fucked around with our fishing for many a years, and still are. But don't even get me started on what they're doing in the fucking channel, and what they've been letting happen, and how they've been robbing us of millions and millions of pounds in the process. And I also hate garlic. But yeah, I consider this just a slap in the face, considering what the French have been like with us. And it shows what our government are like to let this happen. Unbelievable. Up north now, useless Joseph. How's that new law going you passed? It's become unpoliceable because they've got thousands and thousands of reports coming in every day on this hate crime and, you know, grass your neighbour, whatever shit they got up there. The ones that's designed to silence people, basically. Now, this law apparently was put in place, as I say, to silence people. And the thing is, it's had the opposite effect. It's created more and bigger voices than it's shut up. With many of the complaints going in about him himself, which I find quite ironic. But there's one thing you can guarantee, that Roland, Starmer and the rest of them down here have been watching very, very closely to the reactions to this law. Roland came out and said it shouldn't be in place, but there again, he's put similar laws in place, not quite as harsh, but there we go. Right, now this, I'm going to talk now for a few minutes. This is a very controversial subject. Now, all the women that I know and the women that know me know I don't mean this in a derogatory way against any of them or women in general, but it's something that has to be said. Now, we're seeing lots and lots of reports now of sexual harassment in the workplace, other forms of harassment as well. And there just seems to be an explosion of it. But has it always been there? Why has this all of a sudden come out like it is now? Yes, there are men out there, and women, that will harass sexually. They will attack, they will assault. Again, they've always been there, but we never used to hear a lot of it in the news. But years ago, I can remember a lot of flirting used to go on in the workplace. I did it myself with women I used to work with. And a lot of people I know met their partners that they'd been with for many a year through flirting in the workplace. Nobody had a problem with it back then. The girls flirted back, you know. But I think today most of it is because what is considered to be harassment, especially sexual harassment. Now, some of the women today are that woke, they'll report anything. You know, do you remember the advice on the tube? Don't look at a woman on the tube. Don't stare at a woman. Well, you see a beautiful woman in public that looks good, that dresses, you're going to look. It's a natural thing. It's being human. Don't forget, the biggest desire in the human race is to breed, basically. Although that seems to be debatable nowadays. But don't ask a woman for a date. You know, they conceive that now, some of them, as a prelude to rape or an assault. Just asking for a date or a phone number. Yeah, a big escalation, I think, at the moment is down to a certain demographic that they've allowed into this country. Obviously. But on a whole, these sort of antics have always been there. The only thing that's changed is how it's perceived. Bit controversial, but hey, this is the woke world we're in today, isn't it? As I say, I'm not blaming all women on like this, but there are those out there that if you even glanced at them sideways, they're going to report it as an attempted assault or rape, which is just fucking ridiculous. Right, I'm going to leave it there for today, folks. Yes, it was the big eclipse yesterday in America. We'll chat about that Wednesday on the live, which there will be Wednesday night as usual. Simply because I was there at the last one in probably one of the best places I could have been to have seen it. Down in Cornwall. That was back 1999. But we are partially due a partial one, probably around 80 to 90% eclipse. I think it's 2026. But we'll chat about that Wednesday night. Anyway. But until then, guys, welcome to the new subs. I noticed a few more have joined us. Welcome to you guys. Hope you like what I do. I'm not for everybody, obviously. I don't say anybody has to subscribe, but welcome. But before I go, as always, stay safe, stay strong, and stay free from the fear and the propaganda. Respects, people.